What's up, this is Jay from Encounter Wargaming, and today I'm going to be unboxing for you guys the Rafkin and Guild Autopsies. Some nice little additions to my McMorning crew, so stay tuned for that. Sweet, so let's get into these. Okay, love opening new models. Okay, so as usual, online help. We've got the card. There it is. Got the stats, special rules. I'm going to read this guy in more detail later. See how I can synergize him with my morning crew, but at least give you guys a good view of the card. In case you're thinking about purchasing him, you can, pause the screen here and read it up. Sweet. Next, foam, as always. Weird does a great job of packaging their miniatures. I noticed on their plastics there's a lot of very tiny, fine pieces. So I like that they put the foam in there because that protects them very well. And there he is, guys. The Rafkin. As usual, with weird miniatures, very few pieces, but amazingly dynamic. I'll try and get that a little better view for you guys. There he is. So, body, 2 legs, arm, and his nice little scalpel or whatever the hell blade that is. Cool. And, of course, a 30mm base. Just to finish it off. Alright, there's the Rafkin. Guild Autopsies. First off, packaging foam. Excellent. As I mentioned in an earlier video, great for sponge damage painting later. Alright, let's just dump everything out then. So we got that crazy promotional card that they always give you. It's interesting that they don't actually include instructions in their things like other companies do. They instead give you this little thing so you can look online, which is probably a lot smarter because then you don't have to print stuff in a million different languages, right? You just have a website that you can pick what language you want to read it in. So I guess that's a smart move on their part. Now, the cards. I'm going to assume all 3 of these cards are the same, but I'm going to give you guys a good look at it anyway. So let's zoom in a bit here. Rezzer. Guild Autopsies. Yep, embalmed. I was right. And hard to wound, like everything else in my Resurrectionist force. Awesome. And of course the pictures match the sculpts, so let's give you guys a good view of the back. Like I said, you can pause it here and read these if you don't know the rules and are thinking about adding them to your force. Cool. Lots of new stuff. Got 3 30mm bases, typical weird bases with a nice little bevel, I almost said beveled, with a nice rimmed thing going on, which is great for base sanding later. And there they are. There's the sprues. Those are the Guild Autopsies. So basically these are like Guild gun slingers or whatever the hell they are that have died, and McMorning is giving them an autopsy and decided I'm just going to resurrect them. These could be useful. Yeah. Anyway, there they are, guys. There's the sprues. Get a good look at them. I love that they have like cowboy coats and hats and stuff. I love the Wild West aesthetic mixed with that sort of gothic horror aesthetic. Weird has created an awesome fictional universe here. And there you go, there's the cowboy hat and a boot. Awesome. And that's the Guild Autopsies, guys. So there they are, fully assembled, guys. So here's Rafkin. Actually a great model to put together because he was only like 4 pieces. Give you a good view of him all the way around. Just 2 legs, a body, and like, well, I guess it was 5 pieces. Because actually, believe it or not, the front half of his face is one piece, and the back half of his head is another. So, craziness, right? And then 2 hands, 2 legs, boom, put them on a base, done. These guys, on the other hand, were a little more of a pain in the butt. They were actually kind of gigantic jigsaw puzzles. Now, thanks to Weird, because they are jigsaw puzzle-ish, you can only put the pieces together one way. In fact, both of the legs on this fat guy, his legs, the bottom there, they're actually like a half-lap joint behind the knee. First, I put the left leg on where the right leg's supposed to go, and vice versa. And then when I realized they didn't fit properly, I actually had to switch them very quickly. This guy was actually the easiest one out of the 3 to put together, believe it or not, because it's like half his body was one piece, and then like the lower halves of his arms from the elbow down are individual pieces. And then his hat was actually all one piece, which was great. Unlike the other ones, this guy, for example, which was very fiddly, his hat, the center of his hat is attached to the head, but the brim is a totally different piece. So I had to be real careful with plastic glue there, not to get any like real squeeze out or anything to, you know, I don't want to melt any detail or anything. And then this back part of his cape that kind of comes up and then down again was actually 4 separate pieces. So like the top half of his jacket is part of his torso, right, and the arms. And then this bottom piece was actually 4 flappy pieces. It was incredibly difficult to get into place. I had to be very careful, again, not to squeeze out too much plastic glue and kill detail. But I think it actually turned out pretty well. So there he is. Pretty cool, right? Using his gun as like actually gun butting with it because he doesn't know how to shoot it. And then this chick was also kind of a pain in the butt, especially because a ponytail thing coming down on the side of her face here. Let's see if I can get a better focus. There we go. That is a piece on its own. And stupid me, I thought it might be coming out the back of her head, so I put, again, the brim of the hat is a separate piece from the rest of the hat. I put the brim on first, and then thought I would put the ponytail on last. Big mistake, because it made it a real pain in the butt trying to get that little tiny piece in between the brim of the hat and the collar of her coat. Made a real pain in the butt. And the legs were actually kind of a mystery. I realized that I had to put the 2 halves of the coat together before I could actually fit the legs in properly. So that was kind of a learning experience. Also, it's worth commenting, on this guy, on this chick, and on this guy, you see the, like, I guess, lapels or collar or whatever in their coat? The front part of the collar here is actually attached to the droopy part of the back cape, the rest of the jacket being part of the torso. So not only did I have to glue it on at the ass, but I also had to run a bead up the front of the model to be able to line that sort of collar up perfectly. It's the same on this chick. Part of the jacket here attached to the lower part of the swoopy part here. So I had to kind of glue between, sort of beside the shoulder there, and all the way down. I gotta say, Weird probably has the best plastic models on the market, by far. Not really customizable, but so amazingly dynamic and beautiful. So anyway, that's the addition to my Resurrectionists. Hopefully I can get these guys painted, and you guys will be seeing that very soon. And then maybe both Adam and I can add our extra models to our crews and have another game. See ya. So there it is, guys. Hopefully those will be good additions to my McMorning crew. I hear that the Rafkin goes very well with that crew as well. The Guild Autopsies will give me more of that embalmed. Embalmed is the right word for that rule, just like my Frankenstein there, the flesh construct. So adding a little bit more of that to my list. Hopefully the Rafkin will help me with the whole poison mechanic. We'll see. Maybe I can get these guys painted up for you guys soon. Hopefully that'll be the next video to be released in relationship to my Resurrectionist crew. And then maybe we can get them on the table against Adam or another opponent. Let's see. And I can try them out and see how this poison mechanic works. So, hope you guys enjoyed that, and until our next encounter.
Like a monkey in a rocket on his way back home.